What are clean coins worth? As a dealer, a collector, how do you price clean coins to buy them or to sell them? Well, we're going to talk about that in this video. We're going to cover different denominations and we're going to look at how we put a value on a coin. So stay tuned. For those of you who don't know, I haven't mentioned it in a while, but this is our website, portsmouthcoinshop.com, where we sell coins. You can come over here and you can check out what we have to offer. And I also offer a Coin Help You community where you can post images of your coin and you can ask questions. So if you get a chance, check out Coin Help You community. So the first rule of thumb for clean coins is how bad does it look cleaned? I mean, is it harsh? Does it hardly look cleaned? Is it resulted in ugly toning on the coin? Because a very nice looking clean coin like this one will sell for a decent price. It's not as discounted as a coin that might be a little off looking. So remember that as a rule of thumb. If a coin looks harshly cleaned with lines all over it or scratches and things like that, it will sell for less. If it's really darkly toned from where it retoned from being cleaned, it will also sell for less. So if you have a coin, like I said, like this one here, it's going to sell for almost problem-free prices. I mean, it's a nice coin. It's just, got some lines on the back up at the top, which do take away from it. But it was one of those coins that's not too bad. It's not too hard on the eyes. Let's put it that way. It's easy on the eyes still. There are coins out there, though, that have been cleaned that just, like I said, some of the retoning is not all that attractive. And people will pay less for that. But there's a couple things that I want to introduce to everyone. If you don't already know this, this is the gray sheet, and the gray sheet is not just wholesale. Gray sheet also has their own, what they call CPG, which is their retail listings. And why I'm recommending that in this video, not because I'm getting paid. This is not advertisement for them as far as I'm getting anything for it. It's just that this is a third-party pricing. In other words, this is updated all the time. It's not like PCGS or NGC price guide that only values their own coins. This is based off of comps from all auctions, dealer sales, and like eBay and Heritage and Stacks and all that from major dealers. And this gives you a decent idea. Now, it's just one of the tools to use, and it's just a guide. It's a price guide, but you can, for $9.99, it shows you what you can get here. And I do recommend it. I use it myself. And this is one of the tools we use. But if you don't have the money, don't want to pay any price for a price guide, that's fine. You can use Heritage sold auctions. And that's basically what we're going to do here. If you want to know what a clean coin sold for, then you need to look up what it sold for lately at auction. And when you sign up with a free account here, you don't have to charge anything for this. You can look at the past auction sales and then go right down to the drop down, which you can't see the drop down in the video for some reason. But anyways, it says the most recent sales, and it'll show you what's sold lately, what's the most recent. So what we're going to do, we're going to look up 1879 UNC details. So it's 1879 UNC, and we'll just put cleaned. It says details. Maybe it'll come up details. Let's do it that way. And we're going to just put $1 in there. You can put Morgan if you want to. Just play around with it to try to get an idea of what they've sold for. So I don't have, it's got a 79.0 and a 79. So it's really not one of those dates that you would see up at auction very often. I see 79S's, but it's reverse of 78, so it's not the same thing. So probably we end up going to eBay, but here's an example. So here we have a 79 that looks like mine, very similar, and it sold for $71. Now, if you wanted to know the retail of that, so we go over to PCGS price guide, and we're going to look at 79, and we're going to go over to basically what I would consider the 60. You have to go up here to this setting here. It shows you grades 25 to 60. So we want 60. And the reason I say that, that's the lowest price that you can get for an UNC coin. So this coin's, basically worth anywhere from AU 58 price to Mint State 60 price. And that's pretty much where it's at in a PCGS holder. Well, let's just see what the comparable is here. So it's showing $72, so that's almost spot on for it to sell for $71. It's sold for about the AU 58 price. And that's what you're looking at. if it's in a, like I said, a NX holder, it's going to sell for probably the grade back or so. I mean, it may even sell for a couple grades less if it's really ugly. So we can take a look at a few of these coins that I do have. And, like I tell people all the time, this one's an NX holder, but a coin is going to sell for eye appeal. If it has the eye appeal, it will sell well. It'll do okay. This is an 86S clean AU50 details. So I can take the 86S and I can go over to PCGS price guide, which is going to be a little irrelevant here for this coin. And it is AU58 details. So we're looking at a coin that in AU58 is $325. It's not going to sell for AU58 price. It's probably going to sell for extra fine 45 price, which is $160. And you might get 200 out of this coin, but when it comes to NX, you're not going to see them at auction very often. So we can type in an 86. We can try this and just see what happens. So we want 1886S, and it's AU, and it's details, and we want to try the NX holder. I like that NX does give them a point grade. I spelled that wrong. Give me a second here. It came out anyways, but I'm going to make sure I put it in it right. So we did get some results, so we'll see what that says here. So yes, you can see it looks comparable to my coin here, and it's 2015 sold for $152. So that's the most recent. So we're really not getting the value here, even though I'm on the most recent sales. NX doesn't sell at auction like it used to. So what you would want to do then is go to eBay. And I know a lot of people, carry on about eBay and their pricing's off and all this, but see, you've got to be careful. You want to make sure that you're looking at dealers, or at least a graded coin, and that's what we're doing. I'm going to AU details, and we want it to be in an NX holder. And it's a Morgan, obviously. And it'll give you a drop down of what you can select. But anyway, we're going to look at sold auctions, which I've showed people before in the videos. You hit the sold, and it'll show you what they've sold for. So $195 for one. That looks comparable to mine. This one looks comparable. So it's basically pretty much spot on. If you're an NX holder, you go back a grade. If it's almost the same thing with even the PCGS, if the coin looks really nice, you can get a decent price, but you're not going to get that full retail value that the coin deserves when it's problem free. And the same thing is with Mercury dimes. Any coin that you need to look up a value for, basically go back a grade. And to be fair, retail wise, another place that I want to forget to mention is Great Collections. Great Collections has archive auctions. They're right here, and you can go through their filters and you can select coins that have already sold and also get a value. NX sells over here, ICG sells over here, PCGS and NGC. It's probably even better than using eBay, honestly, considering. But like I said, if you use Heritage and you use eBay and you use Stacks and you use Great Collections, you're eventually going to come up with an idea value of a coin that you have that has been cleaned. It's in a details holder, or even an ungraded coin, because you're going to discount it if it's ungraded. Really have to get into doing a little bit of searching, and eBay is probably the best for ungraded coins. And you want to buy it now, and you want to make sure you're picking a reputable dealer, because you don't want someone who bid up a coin on their own, or they're shill bidding and things like that. You have to consider that. So you definitely want to know what a reputable dealer is selling for buy it now, if you can find buy it nows, actual clean coins, or coins that are describing properly. And you take a proof Washington quarter like this in 1957, there is lines on it where it was cleaned. It is unk details, so then you got a proof. And a lot of people think that proofs are just worth more just because they're not. Now, 57 proofs a little better than a 64, obviously, but it's not extremely rare and valuable. You would value it the same way. I mean, if it's a mid-state 60 price, maybe go with a AU proof. I know it makes it a little more difficult to do, but we can look that up too. The only problem that you run into with stuff like this is that the fact that they don't always sell because they're really common. So it's hard to find them at auction. That's why I use eBay. So we'll take a look here and see if there's unk details that came up. It's sold lately. It's possible. See, it's unk details tone, averse wheel mark. That's not a proof. So really, we don't have any proof comps. So you would just basically go with mint state 60 probably. Even wholesale, if you have the gray sheet wholesale, which I do recommend having the gray sheet, then you can actually get an idea of how much these will sell for, how much you might be able to sell it for. A dealer is obviously going to want to pay more of a discount. It's like my 86S. You saw where it sold for anywhere from around $190, and you saw that the Mint State 60. I mean, it was like $325. So when you start looking at that kind of pricing and differences here, uh, you know, it's hard for someone to say, "Man, I'm going to sell it to a dealer for 150." That's a kind of low ball. The price guide says that an AU58 is 325, but it's details. And the dealer's probably not going to be able to sell that for that much. I'm sure they can put it on there, send it to PCGS instead, crack it out of this annex holder, and send it to PCGS and get that AU50 or AU details, maybe sell it for a little bit more. But there's always that risk factor in this. So like I said, the rule of thumb is that how good does the coin look since it's cleaned, eye appeal wise, and then go back a grade to be realistic. Now, not saying you couldn't get close to the 325. Maybe if you put it up for 250, you could get 250. But we're looking at probably around $200 here on that coin. So I hope that helped you price coins that are cleaned. Ungraded coins, when they're not graded, it's going to be even worse. I mean, you take that 86S, you're lucky to get $100 out of it. So you're really going to, that's why I put coins in holders. That's why I send them to Annex, because I recommend them. They'll put a point grade on it, even if it's cleaned. Then you have a baseline to go with. And especially if the coin looks nice. If it's ugly in an Annex holder, it's going to sell for even less. Like I said, it's just the way it works with coins. Eye appeal is important. So thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.